Good morning, Eagles. How are you all doing today? Today we have the 5-6 network from AFRS doing a presentation. They're going to talk about what they can offer and what they can do for us and what their purpose is. So we have Sergeant Turner, who is the president, and we have Sergeant Nixon, who is the secretary. Sergeant Turner, Sergeant Nixon, the floor is yours.
All right. Well, thanks, Sergeant Barron. Thanks for the opportunity to talk to your squadron here. So just to kind of head off, I think a lot of you may be familiar with what a professional organization is. You've probably heard of them when you were at a base, whether it was the Airmen's Council, the 5-6 Council, or there's the top 3 for the senior NCOs. I think sometimes the 5-6 Council, we do have a lot of people who say, yeah, that sounds good, but they don't truly understand what we're about or what it is that we have to offer and what our main purpose is. So that's kind of a cool opportunity where we get to come in and share that news with you. Just FYI, I do have my kids at home, like most of y'all have been working from home. So if I get distracted, I apologize in advance, but they seem pretty good right now. And I'm sitting in a playroom. So, but yeah, so the 5-6 Council, we started this term in June, and just a little history of how we got ourselves established. So recruiting service, we know, is really unique because we're just all over the place. We're geographically separated. Most of the people will know someone just by their voice and never get to meet them until an annual or something, or at all in some cases. But the 5-6 Council, one of the main things that we wanted to do was help promote networking. We wanted to actually give a purpose for people to reach out to one another and work as a team and help develop and improve not just the command, but things for future recruiters and for those that are currently sitting in a 5-6, E5, E6 billet. So as we go about and we did that, we first decided, okay, well, we're going to establish a group level 5-6 Council. This was only 2.5 years ago. And that was at the 360th. It actually really kicked off and it had a lot of support. So we took it to the next level and we said, hey, let's make this a command level 5-6 Council. And the command said, we don't know if it's going to catch on. We don't know if it's worth it, but go ahead and try it. Well, we did. And last year was the first year that the 5-6 Council was set up at a command level. And from there, we saw that there was a true purpose. Good job. Okay, thank you. All right, and told you. So from there, we took that purpose and we continued it. This is our second year, just the start of it. And the last year, we really were able to establish our foundation. We built the bylaws, which are basically the rules that govern a council. We are a nonprofit identity. So many folks get confused and they're like, well, why doesn't the 5-6 just create an event and do TDYs? We would love to do that, but we are nonprofit, meaning we can't use government funds for a lot of things. So there's a lot of curves when trying to establish programs that we have to kind of wrap ourselves around. So as we went ahead and we did that, this is the year where we're really starting to build these initiatives for people to get more involved now that we have that foundation built. The team of our executive council members are phenomenal. You see Sergeant Nixon's on there. We have Tech Sergeant Davis. He is our vice president. He was actually a blue suiter. He is currently EA recruiter. We have Mariah, which is Sergeant McKay, Mariah McKay. She is our media manager. She also, if you're on the MTI to recruiter page, she's also one of their administrators for that page too. So somebody that really is familiar with the social media platforms that so many recruiters use. Sergeant Nixon, he is our battlefield airman recruiter. He's out there. He knows exactly what this new initiative in AFRS is about and how to push those applicants, which I'll correct myself. It's no longer battlefield airman, special warfare. So that is one of the changes. But we also have Sergeant Trigley with an AFRS. I believe he's on his second tier 2. And I am on my first tier 2, getting ready to move to my second tier 2 at the end of November. So we have a good variety of people from all over the tier 1 and tier 2 spectrum who understand the challenges that so many E5s and E6s have to deal with. So we want to be the person who can help advocate for you, but also create opportunities, because we don't want to just take your idea and say it's a 5-6 idea. We want your name attached to it. We want to provide you just a platform where you can bring those ideas to leaders all throughout the command so that you can be heard as a central, I guess, a central place that senior leaders can come and take a glimpse at what's going on with our E5s and E6s that make us the majority of our command anyways. So by utilizing the 5-6 in that platform and networking, we can help you generate more people to help develop your idea and create teams that you can organize and you can lead. We're calling those teams committees. So right now we have 3 committees that we have established, and to talk about those. So the first committee that we have is actually run by Tech Sergeant Mike Menendorp. He was actually last year's president, but he is doing a phenomenal thing called the Record Review Committee. You may have seen the seminar. What was that, Sergeant Nixon? When was that seminar? Like 2 weeks ago on Facebook? Yeah. So if you go back to the Recruiting Service 5-6 Facebook page, you can see it uploaded. Now this seminar is where we got Chief Frommer, who actually sat on the board last year to review the Tech Sergeant to Master Select, and to review their records. And he took a person's record and he went down through everything. And he gave them a true evaluation of where they stood on the promotion board if they were to go up at that moment. And then they gave them feedback on how to improve, how to strengthen their records, or what needs to be fixed on their records, or what's missing on your records. So that was an example of how that was done. Second part to that is now you can sign up and have your record reviewed by another well-experienced senior NCO. And we like to use that term well-experienced because we understand some people may have just put on master. They may never have even gone through this review portion yet. So we wanted somebody that understood it to give you, as a junior NCO, a true evaluation of where you stand and your potential. So if you are interested in getting your record reviewed, then I would encourage you to hit me up on the global or our committee chairman, Mike Menendorp. And you can also go back to our Facebook page and see a lot of this information on there. All right, behind the badge committee, we got Tech Sergeant Julie Bowles. She's actually part of 2 committees, but she's the chairman of the Behind the Badge. So Behind the Badge was like, hey, why don't you, as 5-6, do an article? We want to hear directly from y'all and your stories and your contributions and the highlights and everything that you guys have going on. So we're going to look for writers, people who have ideas for stories. Maybe you're not the writer, but you have the ideas. And we're going to ask you to send those ideas to Julie Bowles. If you would like to be a writer, that's cool too. But Behind the Badge, that's quarterly or is that monthly? I always get that confused. But we are all familiar with that. So I encourage you to get in touch with her so you can get that article on there. Do you have any more details on that, Sergeant Nixon? I know that was when Sergeant Davis was really helping with too.
Yeah, you're right on point, Sergeant Turner.
All right, cool. And then the other committee, the third committee that we currently have this is one that Sergeant Nixon is really helping to push. This is our public speaking committee. So I'll let you, Sergeant Nixon, explain a little bit about that one.
Absolutely, absolutely. I appreciate that, Sergeant Turner. So yeah, with the public speaking committee, basically what we're looking at is the fact that we know as recruiters, we go through recruiting school, we build that initial foundation of skill set when it comes to, okay, here's what you take out to the field. We, schedule our first school visit, we have the school visit, and then many of us are still like, man, my presentation was terrible, or how did I do? And now we know with these virtual times, things are definitely changing once again. So what we're trying to do is just come together as NCOs to basically evaluate and critique one another so that we can make sure we're on the right track. There are plenty of people out there who have very effective and confident presentations. So say, for example, when they come into this public speaking, it's basically going to be a competition, kind of broken down as show me your best impromptu, show me your best prepared based on topics that we give you. And of course, it's going to be recorded live. So the people participating, the people who are watching, they can come to kind of like a one-stop shop source and see great examples of presentations. And then, you know, they can tweak their presentations or use that as a way to measure like, oh, I am on track, I am doing good, things like that. So it's basically us wanting to come together as NCOs and, you know, police one another and help one another grow our presentation skills. Once again, we all come from recruiting school. We start recruiting in our zones. Our trainer meets with us initially and gives us some feedback. And then we're kind of like, okay, go run and be great. So it's just a way to, once again, compress the time frame to say, hey, on this date, you know, maybe a couple weeks later after that initial date, and then a couple weeks later after that, we can do a follow-up on one another to make sure our presentations are being refined pretty well. So, yep, just a little bit about it. But more to come on that, definitely. But it's going to be a great thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm excited about it. What gave us the initial idea for this was we talked about Toastmasters. It had come up in a subject. If you've ever heard of Toastmasters, good on you. If you haven't heard of it, go Google it real quick because they're all over the country, and it's a great way for recruiters to have fun and improve their public speaking skills. Even if you think you're a great public speaker, they're going to show you where you need to improve. So we're taking that concept and just creating a fun way that we can challenge one another. It's like a positive peer pressure type of environment where we want to encourage people to get out of their comfort zone and not only be critiqued, but learn how to critique somebody in a professional way. Some people may be great public speakers, but they don't know how to give feedback very smoothly. That's the truth. So hopefully that may also be another example of how this committee could help. But the judges that we're going to have on this panel, we're going to try and rotate them, have different senior leaders, kind of like guest appearances from people throughout AFRS who can actually be those judge. And again, it's fun, but it's also going to be informative and it's going to be helpful. But in the end, it's going to be a competition type thing. So it'll be cool. But those are 3 committees. If you have initiatives, ideas, if you feel like you don't know where to bring the ideas, or if you need help developing it, that's exactly what the council is here to do. So I encourage you to hit one of us up on the executive council or your group representative. So you actually have 2 representatives assigned to the 360th group. We try to create a structure, kind of like a chain of command, so ideas can be routed to avoid duplicated ideas throughout the command. But your 2 reps, we have Tech Sergeant Ashley Warden and Staff Sergeant Austin Jarrett. And those are your 2 reps for the 360th that you can route your ideas through. And then they can, you know, talk you through it and help you develop that plan to create a committee and make yourself a chairman, which would be cool. As of right now, the most current thing that we got going on this week, in fact, we've got a team building event. So this is something that we just wanted to do to show that we are unified, not just as a command, but as a council. Whoa, good job. And that is our Patriot Run. That's my kiddo showing me stuff. And the Patriot Run is on 9/11. So it's a way for us to humble ourselves, take that moment of reflection. We're going to go out and challenge ourselves and do a run. And we ask that when you go out on this run, that you push yourself a little bit farther than you maybe normally would have, that you feel that burn, just as a way to remember those first responders, to contemplate the things that occurred on that day, the tragic events, the people we lost, and that we're still currently in an ongoing war with people deployed in support of it. So I do ask that you continue to have that, you know, thought in your mind. Participate in the Patriot Challenge. It's a 24-hour day event. It's on Friday, 9/11. Starts at midnight, ends on, you know, at midnight. But all you have to do is get a running app, run, take a screenshot, and post it to our Facebook page. Again, Recruiting Service 56. That's the name of our page. And we're not going to have winners. It's not about that. It's just knowing that not only are you running in that moment and you're in that I guess, mental state of contemplation, but you have other people all throughout the command who are doing it with you at the same time. So it's a team building event that we've created, and we hope to make it an annual one. So it's our first annual, which I know I don't really like that term because it only means that you have to have a second annual one. So we also kind of wanted to create that for whoever's the next executive council for the following term. But if you are interested in being a member, then we encourage you to pay one-time annual dues. It is $10 for staff sergeants. It is $15 for tech sergeants. That's pretty cheap. A whole year, and that, by paying your membership dues, allows you to be chairman, committee members. It allows you to lead, be part of events, get recognition. We are going to be purchasing some hardware, like awards, trophies, things like that, that we would like to honor people with. Again, we're in our second year, so we're really still developing things. But we have a lot of support. We have a lot of members. We've just finished a membership drive where we did a 50-50 raffle, and we were able to select a winner and give them close to $500 out of that, which sad to see that money go, to be honest. But we did do a great dynamic fitness panel where we had people throughout AFRS and people who are not part of AFRS come in and talk about how not only were they achieving awesome fitness goals, whether they're competitive bodybuilders or deadlift competition winners, or just your average person who enjoys fitness, and how they were able to manage that within their work schedule and their personal life to make it happen. So go back, you can look at that on our Facebook page. Domino of Change, that was awesome. I know, Sergeant Nixon, you had that one up. You want to share a little bit about what Domino of Change was about if they want to go back and see it?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, definitely check that out on our page for sure. Basically, we know back in June when General Goldfein and Chief Wright, they came out with their town hall to discuss, race, diversity, and inclusion with everything going on in the country and in the Air Force. So what we wanted to do is put together a discussion. We wanted to do our part as a 5-6 as well. And we took a bit of a different approach. We got a guest speaker who, she's never served in the military before, but she specializes in, cultural diversity. She speaks with different school districts. She's spoken with other government agencies. She actually did a talk with one of the NCOA classes as well. So she's been doing this for years. So we brought her in to give her perspective, and we asked her some questions that came from us, from the field, from the NCOs. And then we had the Equal Opportunity Office, a couple representatives from Columbus Air Force Base as well. So again, we try to take a different approach where we brought some people outside of AFRS to come in and talk about the subject. But basically, it was about whoever you are in your moment in time, whether today, for example, your attitude, your perspective on that particular issue, it's like a domino. How you feel, it's going to carry over into how your flight mate feels or how your supervisor feels, for example. So we wanted to, once again, give people a different way to look at this topic and a different way to approach it. Because we also knew that folks knew it was serious, but a lot of people just didn't know how to carry on the conversation to progress in this particular issue. And we're all one big team. We're all one big family. So that's what DLC was about, is to say, hey, we get it. This is a very sensitive subject. You may not know exactly how to take the next step on communicating with your brother or sister who's right across from you. So let us present a way for you to do that. Let us have a discussion that could give you a great way to move forward. So definitely check that out on our page, because it was a great discussion on race, diversity, and inclusion. So, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, these are things that we have done in the past that you can go back and skim through our Facebook page, get yourself in on that, see what you've missed, because there's a lot of good information that you could definitely, I've benefited from. We've heard great things, great feedback throughout the command on it too. But we do have a couple last minute things here, or at the end of my list of notes, things that are coming up that we're going to be doing. So if you do want to help these initiatives, get in touch with us, because we can use your support. We want to do a huge DEP C event. So we want to be able to do a seminar for your DEP members, where we have unique Air Force programs, and we actually have people not even affiliated with AFRS that can just share their testimony on how they utilize that program. So we have a couple of programs that we have speakers for, like the Skill Builder program, LEAP, and then there's a couple other people that we're getting on board too, but that is in development. So if you would like to help us organize that, please get in touch with us. And then we also will be having a first sergeant, their first sergeant council. They're in their second year of development too, but they are going to be doing a Q&A panel as well. So if you have questions that you want to bring to the first sergeant, but you never really knew how, or because we're geographically separated, we don't have that much face time, or maybe you just wanted to be a little anonymous and ask questions, this is your opportunity to get that out there, whether you just want to type it in a chat, or however you may want to express that question, concern, rumor, because it's all first sergeants who are going to be answering it for you. And then last, and really, I think that's it. I think that's all my notes that I have here. Sergeant Nixon, you got anything you wanted to add?
Sergeant Turner, I'll just say, I'm happy to be on this team with you. Like you said from the beginning, we work really well as a team. And as you were saying, our focus is to, bring NCOs together and just help us grow and leave the, the organization that we're a part of better than we found it. And we're having fun while we're doing it. So, I'm happy to be on the team and looking forward to working with more people out there in AFRS.
Yeah, I feel you. One thing that we do utilize that was introduced to me since we started this term was Marco Polo, that app. Oh man, if y'all are not using Marco Polo, get on that. Not to advocate for a specific app or anything, but it's funny because if you don't have the time to respond to things quickly, we know what 80% of communication is body language and facial expressions. So these are video text messages, more or less. And some of the things that we send in between each other are funny. So it keeps you on your toes. But the 5-6 Council, yeah, that's the purpose. Network, get connected. Hopefully with using technology and innovative ways, we can really make things come together. We have so much at our disposal, and I'm learning so much as we go. And the more that we can network, the more we're going to learn. So I love that. That's my favorite part about the council, is just how much I've grown and how much I've gotten out of my own comfort zone and challenged myself. And that's the type of opportunities we want to create for other people. So, but yeah.
You might have a quick question. In my experience as a first sergeant and as a senior NCO in various organizations, I hear a lot of people talk about professional organizations such as the 5 and the top 3 as just places to get a bullet, just for promotion, that the only intent there is to get promoted. And that turns a lot of people away. I know that the original intent of a 5-6 network and a top 3 organization is to gather a diverse group of NCOs, senior NCOs together to solve problems in the command or the base. But what are your thoughts on that?
I agree with you. Yeah, bullet chasers. You're gonna have them. Hold on here. And I'm sure we probably have them in the council. They're going to be in every organization, but I don't think that's the purpose of it. I understand that people are looking for innovative or creative ways to stand out. But I want them to stand out, and I want them to also improve. I want them to leave something behind with their name on it that's going to give them a sense of accomplishment and achievement. Because the moment that they can see, dang, that was hard, but I did it, they're going to also realize they have way more potential than they originally may have credited themselves with. So what else can they do? So if originally they're joining because they need a bullet, I hope they're going to leave the 5-6 Council, whether they go to top 3 or whatever is their next move, realizing that it's not about the bullet, it's about everything that they impacted, the people, the way we do business, the way that they feel about themselves. So yeah, that's the reason you're joining, fine. But I will say, you're going to leave this council, whatever reason why, you move on or you promote, and I hope that you're going to feel a total sense of accomplishment and that's going to motivate you throughout the rest of your career. That would be my answer. How about you, Sergeant Nixon?
Attorney, you hit it on the head. As soon as I heard the question, that's what I was thinking. I know the Air Force culture is, especially NCO, senior NCO areas, you have to show. So naturally, people are like, all right, I'll promote to this level, that level, or that level. Look for that specific area to give me that type of bullet. It's just as you said. Hey, at the end of the day, we know we need bullets, yes, but what is the impact of it? And I would say with whatever it is that you're doing, are you having fun? Because we know if you just chase a bullet, you're probably going to come in, you're going to be robotic, and your interpersonal communication isn't going to be good with people. Like, for example, Turner, if you were just a bullet shooter as the president of the 5-6, you would just be telling us what to do, and that's it. Right? It wouldn't be no fun communication. There would be no laughs. There would be they wouldn't treat us like human beings. You'd be like, just why haven't you done X, Y, and Z? But because, you're doing something that is very impactful, you have fun with it. And it relays throughout the organization. It creates a positive vibe. So you definitely taste the bullet, but you're has the right input and have fun, while you're doing it. So, yeah, but I agree. I agree with everything you said.
Both responses were fantastic, and I can tell just from both of your body language and demeanor that you guys love this. There's so much energy coming out of this Zoom. I hope everyone else can feel that too. So I can see that this will be very successful. Another question I have is, can spouses be a part of it?
That's interesting. We are in our development. We could, create a whole committee that could be full of spouses that could run their initiatives using the platform of the 5-6 Council. Technically, it is for E5s and E6s, but we are our own nonprofit organization. We do have bylaws that are a living document that we can change as we see fit, and we want to continue to develop the council. So, we understand that we do have spouses who are feeling the separation from military bases as much as our own members. They do have great organizations for spouses out there as well. So if it was a true need and a desire, we would try to support them, I would think. But that would be something in development.
Thank you so much. Do you mind sending me the 5-6 page so I can get it out to the squadron so they have easy access to that?
Sure, I can add it to the chat right now, and then that way you have it there.
That would be even better. And then I think you went over it, but just to make sure, is how does somebody join?
So, so for them to join, sir, all they have to do, there is a PayPal link, and they just go in there and make their payment. E5 $10, $15. So we could send that information out again. We can definitely forward it to you. And the information is also on our Facebook page for how they can join. So it's a very, there it is. Sergeant Turner's putting it in the chat as well. So when you go to PayPal, it's going to be AFRS 5-6. So AFRS lowercase 5-6, just the 5 number 6. And
yeah. And then too, on our Facebook page, we really try to make that the central place to disseminate information. Although we do send out emails in the global, we have Instagram and we have Twitter. Thanks to Mariah, our media manager. But if you go right there to our Facebook page, you check our announcements, which usually come to the top of the page, you'll see our link for PayPal that you can just click and pay.
And if they still have any issues, obviously just contact one of us. Have the link via text as well. And sometimes we literally just text it out and people do it from their phone.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Sergeant Turner and Sergeant Nixon. This was a wonderful Zoom. Eagles, thank you for watching. I think you got a lot out of it. If you have any questions like usual, email them to me or email Sergeant Turner or Sergeant Nixon here, and we'll get you set up. Later on the day, I'll send out the link that they shared with us to you guys in email. And thanks for watching.
Thank you, sir. This is an awesome opportunity. Good luck to everyone in the next fiscal year.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Cheers.